So I've been asked to make a statement regarding an issue that is about to become very public, thanks to this court case that I have to go through here. I was a victim of violent assault and rape in this country. I reported this at the time to the tourist police in Colombo, who I must say were very professional and seemed like they were going to take this seriously and take it forward. What happened next was it seems they handed the statement to the police in Welagama. This was 2 months later. I was called in by the police in Welagama, and I went into the station thinking I just had to maybe verify something, and they marched me into a room and told me to sit down. And as I walked into this room, the 4 men who had assaulted me were standing in that room. And I was then told to write a letter saying that my statement was untrue. So I refused to do this. I spent possibly, I don't know, an hour, maybe 2 hours. It's hard to remember the time. I eventually was so pressured, I was told, I remember crying, and I remember the policeman openly laughing and mocking me as I cried. That was a vivid memory from this day. I was told that if I didn't write this letter, I was not safe to stay in Sri Lanka. I was told that nowhere, I couldn't go anywhere in Sri Lanka if I didn't write this letter. Long story short, I wrote down that I was being asked to retract my statement, so I withdraw it. They read this, they got angrier, they ripped it up in front of me, and they said, "You can't write that." And then told me word for word what to write. And again, they put in, I had to say the statement that I'd made was untrue, which I refused to do. I can't remember word for word what I put in that letter. In all honesty, I can't. But I do remember I refused to do that. I was not going to invalidate what had happened to me, even under threat. So yeah, this was this was just as traumatizing as what had actually happened to me. This was horrendous that day. And the thing is, it's not actually this isn't a one-off story. This is why I'm talking about this now. This is not something that is rare here. The sexual assault, groping and rape are probably the most common crimes in this country. Even in, so I looked up some stats. There was 2,000 cases of rape reported here in 2020. Now bear in mind, this was the year of lockdown, right? So this isn't even your average year. And as of June the following year in 2021, there was not a single conviction made. Not one person was convicted out of 2,000 reported people. And let's remember that I think in the UK we estimate that around 5% of rape cases are actually reported. I don't even think that'll be 5%. I mean, you think, I've had countless foreigners writing to me telling me of disturbingly similar stories to mine, where they've gone to the police with good faith, expecting that, the rule of law would be upheld, and they've been told under threat to withdraw their statement, to change it in some way, or just to scrap it altogether. If this is happening to foreigners, how many local women do you think bother to report sexual assault here in this country? They know more than we do how the police work. They know more than we do how the system works here. I have yet to meet a woman in this country who is unaffected by rape or sexual assault, whether it was as a child or as an adult. I cannot continue to keep quiet about what happened to me, mainly because this is in the public domain now, but also because I shouldn't. because this isn't about me. This is about something far bigger now. This is about the rule of law in this country. This is about the fact that there is no justice in this country right now. There is no rule of law being upheld by the very people who are employed to uphold it. I am asking for the people of this country to wake up to what is really happening, to open their eyes, to stand up for their mothers, their sisters, their daughters, their aunts, the women of this country are treated disgustingly and disrespectfully here. And this has to change. I'm asking the women of this country to finally have the courage to stand up for the protection that they deserve to have, that they, as a constitutional right, they deserve. Is written into your constitution that everyone deserves equal protection under the law. Where's the protection of women? Where's the protection of children here? I'm asking men to actually step into the role of being true men, as to protect the women here in this country from this kind of inhumane and disgusting treatment, and especially by the police force that's meant to be protecting the people. This is the time, I feel. I mean, if it's not now, when is it going to be? When is the time is going to be for people to stand up and to demand that your rights are met, to demand that your freedom is protected, to demand that you are safe from harm, and that if you should become a victim of a crime, that the rule of law will be upheld, that you will be protected, not subjected to further degradation. Every person deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, and that does not happen here in Sri Lanka. That is not happening here. If you truly want to change this country, it begins with protecting society's most vulnerable people, and that is women and that is children. This unjust system must change. And I ask that the people listening to this, the people in this country, start to care. I ask that you stand with me, that you stand for what is right. If it's not going to be now, when is it going to be?